Okay, so yesterday we did simplifying radicals. Um, so for my people that were here, okay, you should know how to start this. If you were not here yesterday, and as long as you're not quizzing, if you're quizzing, finish the quiz first, right? So for my people who were either if you were late yesterday or if you weren't here, you got to pay attention. You got to know how to do these. I want it without headphones in our ears, please, please, please. Okay, so when we're doing this, we're going to make a factor tree. You're doing this. You're kind of breaking it down, okay? Headphones in the back, please. Both. So let's do that. 300 breaks down into two numbers. Now, we always start with the smallest prime number. Is everyone hearing me? You always start with 2. Does 2 go into 300? 2 times something. Now, let's pretend like you don't know, or maybe you don't. Here's how you tell. 300, how many times does 2 go into 300? You do 300 divided by 2. If it's a whole number, then it works. So 2 and 150. So again, 300, since it divided by 2 and gave me a whole number, those two numbers, 2 and 150, are my factors. So 2 times 150. Now, real quick, in case you missed this, because yesterday, if you weren't here, we are not just typing this in the calculator. We're not just getting a decimal, okay? We're doing what's called simplifying radicals, okay? We're going to be finished working on the notes from yesterday, so in a minute, you're going to need to get that out of the blue bin if you don't have it, okay? But for now, let's finish the warm-up. So we break down 300. We always start with 2. 2 times 150 is 300. Cross out 300. When you break something down, you want to cross it out. I don't want headphones, please, right now. Please. Okay. Now, 150. 2 is prime, it's done. But 150, let's try 2 again. Does 2 go into 150? What do y'all think? Yeah, 2 times what? 75. Again, if you don't know, divide it. 150 divided by 2, it is 75 in your calculator. Okay? So we broke it down by 2. We broke it down by 2. Now, 75 is not even. If it's not even, 2 is not going to go into it. So next number you want to try is 3. Does 3 go into 75? Again, if you're not sure, 75 divided by 3, if it gives me a whole number, it works, and it does. It's 3 times 25, okay? Now, 25, 2 doesn't work. If you tried 3, 3 is not going to work, but what number does go into 25? 5 times 5, okay? Again, I broke down 25, so I crossed it out, okay? First things first, can you do a factor tree? You've got to be able to break it down by 2s, then 3s, then 5s, and all the way till you can't break it down no more. Now, yesterday, I told y'all the story. Who was not here yesterday? Who else? Okay. Couple, okay. In the back, right? All right, you weren't here yesterday. Okay. So, here's the story. You ready for a story? I'm going to do the quick version of this, okay? There was a radical house party. It's radical. Everyone wants to be there. All the prime numbers want to be there. Okay? At the party, people start to make couples. You know what I'm saying? They match up. So do we have any pairs of numbers here? You'll see we have 2 2s and 2 5s, right? So you always want to circle pairs. So circle that pair of 2, please. Circle that pair of 5, please. Okay? Anytime you do the factor tree, you got to circle the pairs. Cool? All my people that were here yesterday, I'm going to keep walking eyes with you and make sure you understand what I'm talking about. You do the tree, you circle your pairs. Cool? Make sure you're writing this down. Now, what we do, after you circle your pairs, you got to cross one out, okay? One doesn't make it. It is what it is, okay? Now, here's an easy way to remember this. Couples go out, like on a date, right? So when I'm looking at the square root, the circled couples go out over here on the left. Couples going out. Cool? So 2 and 5 are going to go out here and multiply. If there's ever more than one, you always multiply it. So 2 times 5 goes outside. 2 times 5 is 10. Now, there's things that are not couples. Look right here. There's a loner 3. The loners stay inside. Okay? Think of a sad person who's at home alone reading a book. It is what it is. Or maybe they're happy. Well, whatever. They're alone. Okay? So the 3 is going to be in the square root. So the 3 goes over here. And that's how you reduce radicals. Cool? You got to be able to do the tree. Circle your pairs. Pairs go out. Loners stay in. If you have more than one of anything, you've got to multiply it. That's what we learned yesterday. That's what we're going to continue today. So on the notes packet, okay? The notes packet looks like not that. What are we waiting for? Okay, here we go. So we were on numbers 1 through 6. I'm going to give you all like 5 minutes. I want you to do 1 through 6 or continue doing 1 through 6. And I'll come around and give you some tips or help you out if you get stuck, okay? Okay, people who were not here yesterday. So in the back, what do I do first? Look at your warm-up. What was that little thing? Do you remember what it's called? This is called a factor tree. Cool? Factor tree. Now, what number do I always start with first? 2. We try 2, okay? So here's my question. Does 2 go into 27? What do you think? Is this even? 7's odd. So it's not even, so 2 doesn't work, okay? So what do we try next? 3. Does 3 go into 27? Yeah, 3 times what? 3 times 9, okay? If you didn't know that, you could do 27 divided by 3 and get 9, okay? Now, once I break this down, who else wasn't here? What do I do with the 27 once I break it down? Cross it out, cool? So in the future, cross it out. Whenever you break something down, you cross it out. Now 9 is what times what? So what do you think? Okay, 3 times 3. Again, 2 doesn't work because it's odd, but 3 does work. 3 times 3. Cool? What do I do with the 9? Cross it out, right? Okay. Now, once we do the tree, and they're all prime, these are all prime, what do I do next? So if you look at the warm-up, we started finding pairs, so I have to circle the pairs, okay? Do I have any pairs here? Pair of 3. Now, I know there's 3 3s, but you only circle pairs. Circle one pair of 3. 1, 2 3s together. Put them in a circle. And what do I have to do to one of them? Cross it out, right? So cross out one of those 3s. Okay, now we're going to write our answer. What's that weird symbol that we got to put there? Radical, or a square root sign. Now, if I asked you what goes on the outside and the inside, it's obvious. It's 3, right? But here's the question. What do you think? Does the circle go out or in? Good. Circle goes out. Why? Couples go out, like on a date. So cute. It'll last forever. Not. All right, so circle 3 goes out to the left. Loner stays inside. That's it. Okay? Now, there was only one thing each, so you didn't have to multiply anything. But if there's more than one thing, you multiply it. Number 2. All right, let's start it again. What do I do first? Factor tree. Yeah. Okay, what number do I start with? Okay, 2. Does 2 go into 48? Yeah, because it's even, right? 2 times what? 24. Very good. What do I got to do that 48? Cross it out. I don't need it anymore, okay? It's already been broken down. Okay, 24. Is it even? So 2, right? 2 times what? 2 times 12. Okay, that's even. 2 times what? 2 times what? 2 times what number gives you 12? 2 times 6, okay? And what do I do with 12? Get out of here. And then 6 is 2 times 3. That's a lot of 2's, right? So what do I do with all these factors? Circle them. Very good. Do I have any pairs here? Pair of what? Pair of 2 and 2 pairs of 2's. That's fine. You can have 2 of the same numbers as long as they're different pairs. And then I got to do, don't forget to circle them. Cross one out, right? Okay. Forget about it. Okay, and we already said this, but pairs go out. Now, here's the deal. There's 2 pairs, right? So 2 and 2, do I add or multiply those numbers? Multiply. Does everyone understand? I've said it. Multiply each time, right? So we know how to do this. We're not going to type in the calculator in the future. All right, so 2 times 2 is 4. What's left on the inside? The loner is 3 on the inside. Now, hopefully you get the hang of this. Now, number 3. Now, you can do the factor tree, and it might freak you out at the end, okay? But real quick, what do we know about 36? It's what kind of a number? It's a square number. Y'all remember from the very front of these notes. It's right there, right? Square root of 36 is 6. Sometimes the answer is just a whole number. The square root of 36 is just 6, for sure. But what if you did the factor tree? What would happen? Let me show you, okay? I'm going to do this a little bit quick because we know what we're doing, hopefully. 2 times 18, cross it out. 2 times 9, cross it out. 3 times 3, cross it out. Do we have any pairs here? Pair of 2, pair of 3. What's not here? Does everyone see? We have only pairs. Pair, pair, no loner. So some people think, wow, what do I do now? Maybe it's square root of 0, square root of 1, or square root of something. No, here's the deal. 2 and 3 multiply gives me what? 2 times 3 is 6. If there's no loner, there's no square root. It's gone, okay? The square root is only for the leftovers, the loners, okay? If there's no loners, there's no leftovers, there's no square root. It's just 2 times 3. And guess what? We already knew that. Square root of 36 is 6. So 6 times 6 is 36, okay? Number 4, let's break it down. Is it even? Yep, 2 times what? 2 times 35. Let's pretend like you didn't know that. 2 times what? You would do what? 70 divided by 2. Do I get a whole number? I do. 2 and 35, right? So 2 times 35. Now, 2 does not go into 35. What about 3? 35 divided by 3 is not a whole number. So 3 doesn't work. What about 5? Yeah, if it ends in a 5, 5 goes into it. 5 times 7. Cross out 35. Now, what do you notice? Bless you. Are there any pairs here? So this had only pairs. This has no pairs. Okay? So if there's no pairs, nothing's going out. Everything's staying in. So what do I do with these 3 numbers? Multiply them. But guess what you get? You're right back where you started. 2 times 5 times 7 is 70. So really, they told you to simplify it, and it was already simplified. Square root of 70 does not reduce because there's no pairs. So sometimes There's nothing you can do. Now, 5 and 6. We talked about this yesterday. Who was not here yesterday? This is the weird one. The people who were not here. Is everyone looking? Okay? Put on your thinking glasses. Okay? What's weird about number 5? See that 2? It's already outside. Now, what do we always take outside? Is circled stuff, right? Here's what I want you to do. When you see a number outside, it's called a coefficient. I want you to already circle it. Okay? So there's a 2 outside. Circle it because it's already there. Cool? And now, let's do the factor tree. So, 54 is even, so 2 times what? 27. Cross out 54. 27 is not even, so let's try 3. Yes, 27 divided by 3 gives me a whole number 9, so that's 3 times 9. And hopefully by now we know 9 is what times what? 3 times 3. Cross out the 9. All right, ladies and gentlemen, check it out. If you don't circle this 2 from the beginning, you might be tempted to circle these 2's as if they're a pair. But I want you to notice, this original 2 up here is not part of the tree. The only thing part of the tree is 2, 3, 3, 3. Not this 2 up here. Okay? So out of the actual tree, what's my pairs? Just 3 and 3, right? These 2's don't match, okay? Because it's not part of the tree. So circle your pair of 3's in the tree. Cross one out. Now this 2 and this 3 are loners. They're leftovers, right? And so now we're going to answer this based on what we usually do. So 3 is going to go out. 2 is already out. Guess what I do with those 2 numbers? Multiply. 3 times the outside 2 gives me what? 6. Square root. What are my leftovers? 2 and 3 again. What's 2 times 3 again? 6. I know that's weird. Pair 3, outside 2, multiply. Loner 3, loner 2, multiply. Okay? We just did this. One more time. What do I do first here? Coefficient, circle it. Circle that 3, okay? Break down 75. 75 is what? Not 2. Let's try 3 times 25. 25 is 5 times 5. Do I have a pair? Yeah, buddy. Circle those 5s. What's going to multiply on the outside? 5 and that 3 that was already out there. 3 times 5 is 15. Square root, and my loner is the 1, 3 by itself, okay? So 15 squared of 3. Cool. You got that down, flip it over. We're going to talk about multiplying. This page we're going to do real quick and we'll be done, okay? Because we're going to save dividing for tomorrow. Dividing is a little bit caliente, all right? So we can do it. Now, y'all ready for something easier? Okay, this is easy. Look right here. Look. Everybody. Okay. When you're multiplying radicals, multiply the outside together, and then multiply the inside radicals together. That's it. Outside times the outside, inside times the inside. What are my outside coefficient numbers here? 2 and 6. So it's going to be 2 times 6 on the outside. And then on the inside, what am I multiplying in my radicals? Square root of 3, square root of 2. All right, so 2 times 6 is what? 12. And then for my square root, 3 times 2 is 6. That's it. Not too bad, right? Outside times the outside, inside times the inside. Do not just type it in your calculator and get me a decimal. Boo. Now, real quick, when you get to the end of this problem, you want to think, can I reduce this? How do you reduce it? Factor tree. What are the factors of 6? 2 times 3. That's it, right? Are there any pairs? So actually, that was done. There was no pairs to break down. 12 square root of 6 is good. That's done. Okay. Now, example 2. Outside times the outside. So 3 times 4 is what? 12. Square root. And on the outside, sorry, inside the square root, underneath it, is 6 and 2. What's 6 times 2? 12, again. Now, am I done, or what do you think I should do? Okay, look at square root of 12. See, can I break it down? Let's try it. 12 is even. 2 times what? 2 times 6. 6 is even. 2 times 3. Now, on the tree part, do I have any pairs? Pair of 2. So guess what? This does break down. It wasn't completed. So I got a pair of 2, cross one out. What's already on the outside? 12. So I circle that. So I got a 12 already outside. 2 is going to go outside. 12 and 2 multiply to make 24. What's my loner? The leftover 3 stays on the inside. So you see how sometimes you got to go the extra steps to break down your radical, okay? So again, outside times the outside, inside times the inside. Break it down if you need to. So I want you to try number 1 and 2. I'll give you a couple minutes. 1, 4 times 3 gives me 12. Now, square root of 5 times square root of 5 is what? Right, which is 5 squared, 25. Now, if you left it like that, it would not be done, okay? Do we know what the square root of 25 is? Ironically, to get 25, we did 5 times 5. The square root of 25 is 5, okay? So here's what you could do. Break it down. Pair of 5. Outside is 12. And what do I do with 12 and 5? Multiply, and it gives me 60. Since there's no loner, there's no square root, you're done, okay? On number 2, if there's no number out front, so you all know that there's an implied 1 here, okay? 1 times 4 is 4. And then my square roots, 2 times 3 is 6. If you can, break it down, but 6 is only 2 times 3. There is no breaking that down. So 1 was 60, 2 was 4 squared root of 6. Okay, last part of the notes, and then we're done. This is, this part is pretty easy. Y'all ready? Every radical number multiplied by itself is equal to the number inside the radical. Okay, so everyone give me your attention for like a minute, and we're done. Okay, is everyone looking? In the back. And your heads up. Looking over here. That's your phone. So, example 3. Square root of 2 times square root of 2 would be square root of 4. What's the square root of 4? 2, right? Here's the deal. All you have to do, when you see a square root times itself, it's just that same number underneath the square root sign. So square root of 2 times square root of 2 is just 2. Same thing with the next one. Square root of 12 times the square root of 12 is 12. If you have a square root times the same square root, get rid of the square root. It's just a number. So we're going to do these two real quick. Square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 3. Square root of 37 times square root of 37 is 37. That's it, okay? That's our stopping point for the day. We're going to do dividing tomorrow, okay? Keep these notes.